What's up, everybody? After much toiling, I finally came up with the name, the Resurgence Podcast. So now, brought to you live, the Resurgence Podcast. Okay, so I went out to Basasiachi, which is Chihuahua, Mexico. Met a bunch of cool people, by the way. Shout out to everybody out there. So I decided to go ahead and do a podcast with before and after people that had never drank ayahuasca. And then their after reactions after it. Actually was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. It was great weather out there because over here in Texas it's so fucking hot. Second part to that is I went ahead and sat down with Carlos. He's a shaman. And he explained to me about ayahuasca. I asked him a couple questions. There is a translator there, so he falls apart a little bit at the end, but he pulls it together. He does a good job. I just wanted to show you because I know I always talk about it, and I just wanted to get an actual shaman. He's from Peru, by the way, okay? So it's not like some guy that I found. He's actually a Peruvian shaman from Cusco, okay? So, third announcement that I have is, second one, actually. I have a new sponsor, my first sponsor ever. Damn, second podcast already, motherfucker. Yes, that's just how I fucking roll. So, I'm being sponsored by the Ayahuasca Healing Experience, so check them out, check their website out, and make sure and like them on Facebook, okay? Like them on Facebook. Last but not least, do I have anything last but not least? No, that's it. So, without further ado, sit down, strap in, and shut the fuck up.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
Jedi Master? Yoda. You seek Yoda.
Yoda.
Clear your mind, mister. You must unlearn what you have learned.
Tawairunga kunanera chamai kunai kayari. Tawairunga kunanera tayoy puntai kayari.
Is that a video camera?
No, it's not a video camera, it's
Oh,
like
good.
audio.
It's just audio.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. I'm like, well, I don't
Pull a camera and just put it in front of it. So, like everybody knows, my name's Aiden, and pretty much it's just, we already had Basasiachi, even though that's probably, I'm butchering the shit out of it, but Basasiachi. Oh my god, I just got, yeah, Basasiachi, okay. So, pretty much what I thought I would talk about, since I've already drank ayahuasca a few times, and everybody just hates to hear me constantly brag about it and say how great it is. So I figure I get complete two newbies that had their just what they expect from it. So hopefully I'll have another one coming up. It'll be them, what they think and what they expect to get from it, and then afterwards, hopefully maybe tomorrow or the day after, or before we leave, you guys can just sit down and let me know. We can cry together, whatever it is. So if you guys,
I'll go first since
So you
I'm
wanna-
not the talker, so I'll
okay,
go first
so
and get it out.
let me just, can you come right here? That way I
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
just like right there's good. Yeah, it's great speakers. So just introduce yourself, what you do. If you want to make up a name, it's cool, man. No big deal.
Oh,
a
I'm
little
Shaman.
bit about yourself.
I do IT computer
Cool.
stuff, and so yeah, my wife and I, we decided to do something different for our 10-year anniversary.
So this is that's a fucking 10-year anniversary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're like, screw Cancun, we're gonna come over here.
Uh-huh.
So what was the major thing the button that just that made you want to come over here? That was the first thing. Like,
Just hearing about the life-changing experiences, you know, and like you had mentioned, the loving, understanding and really understanding the love, you know. And for me, one of my reasons for coming is to kind of renew who I used to be. You know, I used to be this nice guy, and I loved helping people. You know, it didn't matter what. I just really loved helping people and doing stuff for people, and I felt good doing that. You know, and over the years, I've just kind of
jaded,
lost,
just like you were saying.
Lost
Just
that
like,
feeling, and just losing the care for other people, and just avoiding people, and
Why do you avoid people? Just
just
like fuck them. You're just like, oh,
I don't want to
you
have
don't
to deal
wanna
with
them?
people.
Is it the whole like, oh, here comes, and you just like want to try to go in another path just to avoid?
Yeah.
Isn't that
well, in the past, I've always kind of been a loner, anyways. But I wouldn't completely just avoid.
Okay, cool.
And
So, what are the like? What would you say is like apprehension that you have, if any? If you don't have any and you're totally just on board, that's cool. If not, I mean, hey.
You know what? I think I've done enough research and met enough people and talked, and watched enough, interviews that other people have done, and of course talking with you guys, and reading, a couple of books.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have any.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gung ho. I'm excited for it.
Okay, cool. And what would you say do you have any expectations or any questions that you would say? Like any questions like, I really want to, or I want to get this out of here, or I want to deal with emotional baggage A, B, or anything like that, or are you just open to whatever?
Well, yeah, I have some things,
Good.
definitely that I'd like to clear out to help me achieve that goal of have more joy in my life, and happiness.
And if you,
Especially with my family and kids,
Gotcha.
I want to, my children, I want to be that.
that's good. That's definitely,
Happy, yeah.
That's good, and that's good. You come in with that open mind, and you're just like, I don't have any apprehensions, and I'm just, ready to go and see what happens. And that's good. You have some things that you're ready. Kind of have a little list going. And
Yeah,
see
I
what's
do.
up.
I do.
Anything
Plan
like
on
that.
breaking those out, during the right at the beginning, like you say, beginning of each ceremony.
That's good. Even write them down. You
Yeah.
could just write them down on a little piece of paper and just have them there. Some people did that. I've known people do things like that, anything like that. Because like they were saying, you'll forget. You're like, well, you'll even be like,
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah,
that is an
so
excellent idea. I think I will do that.
That'd be good, man. That'd be pretty cool. So, we'll see. Well, I'm curious to see what afterwards what the things that you might say, anything like that. So, who am I talking to next?
My
That was
name's
good.
Kamisha,
Okay.
and I am the instigator of this adventure. Although along the way, I would say that I, a few times, was kind of looking for the back door and feeling like, oh, it's too far to go, it's too long to leave our kids.
So you were
it's-
just making excuses, in other words.
Yeah, and my husband, who was slow to come on board because he needed the time to process and research and ensure that it would be a safe experience and that we would come home to our children.
Come home to your children, number one.
Yes, number one goal. He would say things to me like, no, I'm confident. I mean, it's going to be really good for us. He says, I'm going to get a lot out of it. And I don't know how to take this. And he's like, but I'm really excited to see what you get out of it. So,
Why is
so,
that? Do you think that she's going to get more out of it? Or she's just going to be more vocal about it? Is that what it is? Or?
Well, I she's, of course, we're married 10 years and that. And there's a lot of.
First of all, 10 years? Damn. First of all, that's
thanks.
I can't even keep it together for like 2 years. Like, I have a steady growth.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's happened,
Yeah.
to her throughout her life,
Yeah, cool.
and
Okay.
In other words, I got more baggage.
Yeah.
I got more baggage to process.
There
And
you go.
actually,
Hashtag shitload of baggage.
yes, hashtag shitload of baggage.
Yeah.
And also, we moved back to the area that I had grown up in 3 years ago, and I have a number of siblings, and I wasn't really prepared for how much childhood trauma that would activate, how much sibling rivalry, how stuck actually. You know, I moved off, I went to college, I got a great career, I marked all of these achievements off my bucket list, and then I go back and I feel like I'm stuck in those same relationships with some of my siblings that I had at 8 and 10 years old, where we're beating the hell out of each other and, you know, have these rivalries and this envy and this jealousy. And being
that's
one of
fascinating.
11 children, you know, you don't really get the one-on-one from your parents that you sometimes think you're entitled to, or that our culture says you need in order to be a healthy, functional person. So for me, I'd like to go about just putting that all in perspective. I can understand it intellectually, and I've talked through it intellectually, even with each of those individuals, but I haven't been able to clear the pain. I haven't been able to clear like that cellular level of that hurt inner child, if I were to use, you know, psych terms or what have you. So some of my goals are to just kind of, I guess, really bring my past into my present in a more objective way, so that I'm able to move past the patterns of pain that get reignited with different stimuli. So that's one of my goals. I think another goal is that I believe that whatever issues you have, if you don't address them and deal with them in some way, you pass those on to your children. You know, those miasms get paid forward.
Yeah.
And so I'm motivated also as a mother to purge my personal history and be able to be an example of joy and love and faith and compassion for my children, so that they're raised in that
So
environment.
you not only want to be better, but you also want to be better first and foremost for your children. You know?
For me,
from you,
first and foremost, because I deserve to heal that. And then I know that when I heal that, I know that pays it forward. I know that has a ripple effect.
Cool.
And the same way that my mother's abandonment and traumas had an effect on me, and the way that she was able to be present for me.
Yeah.
So I think that we all have a responsibility to do the work to make ourselves the best that we can be individually, but then to recognize that if we want to heal the world at large, it starts within. It starts in dealing with our own stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So and it'll be it's usually awesome to hear. You hear yourself afterwards. You're just like, holy shit, because a lot of it, like I said, just you shed a lot of skin and stuff like that, and a lot of things that you may think is very traumatic. It almost seems like, well, this is all you need to do, and then you're like, damn it. Yeah, it's like, you know, and I always tell people, like, when I compare it to people, you know, they're like, well, how is it? And I'm like, I have to sit here, and you probably still won't get it. You know, like Ray talking about, you know, Santa Claus coming with the sleigh and stuff like that. People are going to be like, what? But, you know, like I tell them, I was like, imagine, you know, compressing 7 years of therapy in 5 days. You know? If you had to, you know, like, but it's going to be, so it's really effective, and it's perfect what you guys gave me, and hopefully, you know what I mean, we'll afterwards, maybe Thursday when the break, maybe, I say we'll have a couple sessions in. By the way, everybody pay attention, because you'll see, I think they're gonna be, their answers are gonna be, I think, a lot more elaborate, and I think you guys are gonna want to share more, because at the end of the day, I mean, you guys are, you know, other people can be hearing this and like, fuck, they have apprehension. Like, they already know I'm crazy. They're like, yeah, Aiden's, he's in nut job a little bit, you know, he's too intense, you know. So that's why I wanted at least somebody to talk about it before and then see them after. So I really appreciate it. So it was good. So we'll see you guys Thursday, and hopefully everything will be cool. So it's perfect.
Sounds good.
7 minutes. All right. Thank you guys. And now we have the second part too here going. So this is just them after, and they just kind of, we're on the truck, so yes, it's a little bit noisy. Yes, it is, okay? But pay attention, they had a lot of good stuff to say, and a lot of good things that that we learned that those 5 days that we're out there, okay? All right, here it is. All right, we're good. So, this is me again, Aiden, second part of this three-piece little journey that I had here in Resurgence. We're coming back. You'll probably hear the ambient noise around, so it'll be kind of crazy, but you're back with Kamisha, and she's finally, she had 5 ceremonies, and by the way, she took 5 shots. She wasn't fucking around, so I just thought that was crazy. My pussy ass only drank 1.5, but that was enough. That was enough for me to be more than connected. But so now I just want to give the flow to her so she can let us know her experience. So let me go ahead and reiterate what happened. So this was the first time ever taking ayahuasca, first experience with the shaman and doing all this. So you guys can see if you guys can catch the changes or whatever she says. So Kamisha, what do you think? How do you feel now?
Well, wow, where to begin? It's like a lifetime ago. Yeah, I don't know that even if I went into detail and explained exactly what my experience was, that anyone would really understand it. But I guess what I can say is that on the first night, I ended up having a lot of symbols for a very kind of dark period in my life show up.
Symbols?
Yeah, like Vegas kind of energy. I lived in Vegas for 6 years, and so it was like symbolized by like slot machines and lots of activity and energy and everything like that. And it was after the fact that I kind of had this intuitive awareness of, when I was asking like, why did that come to me? That the answer came so clearly. Well, that's the history you needed to purge. That's the space that there's guilt and there's shame and there's, all of that. And so at that point I was like, oh, okay, right on. Well, I guess we'll see what the next day brings.
And the first night you only drank 2, right?
I did 3. I drank,
shots?
yeah, I did 2, and then I went back for a third, and I didn't really go deep. I kind of like had maybe a 40-minute experience where it was just sort of, like I say, it was kind of like being stuck in kind of a Vegas carnival.
Yeah.
But the next day, I was pretty committed to pushing beyond that.
Yeah.
And so I did 2, and then went back, by the time it was done being served, for a third. And then about 30 minutes after that, I had this instinct, like, just, do another one. And then about 20 minutes after that, I did another one. So, yeah, the language I use is I dropped in pretty hard.
Yeah.
And for me, that one was just really neat because I just had to surrender to everything that was happening. Anytime that feelings would come up, and on that one, I actually kind of had a lot of like Day of the Dead sort of symbolisms.
Skulls and stuff.
Yeah, lots of that. Yeah,
Okay.
like I really felt like the spirit of the medicine was South American.
Really?
Oh yeah, like I totally got this whole.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead, Santeria,
That's cool.
all of that kind of.
Were you scared of seeing that?
No.
Because most people, I think, they're like, oh shit, we interpret, like in the United States, we interpret skulls as like, fuck, that shit's bad, But
Yeah,
did you,
I've just went into this with so much trust in it being a medicine, and so much trust in it bringing it up and out, whatever is the dark, hidden essence of who we are, that I had just set my intention that no matter what passed me by, I knew I was protected by the shamans, I knew I was protected by the space, and I knew I was protected by the company. And so I knew that no matter how much madness I seemed to be experiencing, that it would pass, and that my resistance would enhance it. And so if I just observed, if I just went into an observer's role, then it couldn't pose a threat. It wasn't dangerous to me. So I actually found a really interesting sense of comfort in accepting that energy.
That's good. Most people, like I myself, try to fight it that one night, and and the shaman told me, you just gotta feel, and I was just feel. And the second I just started feeling, you know, because if you try to fight it, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, but I've learned that lesson
Yeah.
on so many levels in my life that
Yeah.
it carried pretty easily into that experience. I think that my third ceremony was done outside, and it took me a long time. And again, I had to do 5 to kind of get to the place where I really feel like I'm making the most of it. But I actually had this really incredible moment where. You know, and I'm going to have to look at it as far as colors and what they mean and everything, but like this, I was just immersed in this yellow, but I was seeing all of these ancient cultures, all this Sumerian, Phoenician text, and all of this Egyptian, Grecian, like really early man, and it was just, I don't know, I just felt like I was at the center of all knowledge, of all knowledge, you know, the first words of mankind, and that was really cool. And then I settled into this space of, for me, I've been working through, you know, I've had several miscarriages.
Yes.
And so I found it really interesting because I found myself kind of in a womb-like state. And I thought, wow, you know, maybe it's so great because I'm being taken care of.
Yeah.
I'm not the one taking care of others, you know.
Yeah.
I'm being taken care of.
Because I
And
noticed that you were just kind of, you have that motherly instinct that kind of like take care of.
yeah, I do a lot of that. And I am a mother of 2
Yeah.
kids, but I've been a caretaker my whole life.
Gotcha.
And so for me, I was like asking, you know, is this the place where some of my healing begins in being held in kind of this womb-like state? But what was unique about the second and third ceremonies is I went to that space both times, but there was a lot of really busy, colorful, assertive kind of yang energy outside
Did you
of
see
my.
green?
Oh yeah.
I love that color.
Yeah.
The green, I was thinking.
But the green was so mild compared to the yellow the experience that I had. And I actually think, if I were to guess, I think that's the solar plexus chakra.
Okay.
The space of self-worth, of worthiness, of self-esteem, of all of that. So my fourth ceremony, we'd eaten dinner late, and that was it. I realized, like, I was getting the message way before that. Do not overindulge. Food and ayahuasca don't mix.
Unless you're Felipe.
Yeah, I guess unless you're Felipe.
Jesus.
I
Giving
did.
me M&M's before this ceremony. He's just slamming M&M's, and he comes over and he's like, here. And I was like, I ate it.
Yeah, but then you hear him the whole ceremony.
Yeah.
But my fourth one, I went into it feeling too full.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I like being empty to receive and feel,
Gotcha.
you know, the medicine move through me, whatever. So that one, I just ended up purging really early and then just choosing to go back to my room and get some sleep. So,
Yeah, I remember you coming out.
yeah, that one was kind of quick for me. And
Yeah, that's when I felt like this is so noisy in here. Like I was just like,
yeah, and we had a lot of new people, and they were really going through some of the hard stuff of the first day.
And it was cold.
And it was cold, and yeah, so I just wanted to go to bed. I just needed to go to bed.
Yeah.
So, but I had really vivid dreams.
Yeah.
And then the fifth one, and I don't want to scare people off, but I thought it was so awesome because I'd had so much busyness, like I said, like that Vegas energy, the first one, lots of big yang energy out there, you know, and I was nestled in my little spot. But on the fifth one, I had asked for a different experience. I was like, okay, I've had enough of kind of this carnival fun land, and I want a different experience. So lo and behold, I got like all in blacks and whites and grayscales and browns and neutrals with just very few spaces of color, and it was perfect for me. And I ended up, again, I don't want to scare anybody off, but I ended up being buried alive, you know, in the earth. And I was down there with all the creepies and the crawlies and all of the things that like make the whole ecosystem above function and work. And, you know, the place where fertility and nutrients are generated and stuff's recycled and renewed.
It's really lots of energy down there. You know,
Yeah.
people associated with like death and destruction, but now really there's tons of energy going on in there just as much as above.
Yeah,
you know?
tons. And I was so fine being there. I was so fine being there, and I was so grateful to have, Carlos, our shaman, had discussed sort of the feminine being perceived as a negative space energy, but it's really the space of potential.
Yeah.
And then you have this yang come in and fire everything off. Well, I just really felt like I was in the belly of Pachamama, for lack of a better word.
Mother Earth, by the way.
Mother Earth, yeah. I mean, I was that's where I was, and so for me, I'm sure all of the different pieces will come together, but I experienced a lot of wound healing, uterine healing, whatever, and I feel coming out of it a real confidence about like moving stagnant energy out of that space, and a real confidence about fertility and my ability to generate more life, and I feel like I'll be pregnant and having a baby.
Awesome.
So.
And do you think that this experience is for everybody, or the one question I always get with everybody, or like reply, like people are like, oh, I'm scared, or like I don't want to see shit. It's just like what would you say to somebody like you personally?
I would say, ask yourself how much time you spend in fear anyway, and what do you have to lose? Like you can, and people choose in all kinds of stuff all the time. I mean, you were talking about like loving, what's the zombie? What's the Walking Dead? I mean, people choose into that shit all day long. So why are they so terrified of like confronting their shadow side? Why are they so terrified?
It's you.
Yeah.
But once you, like the shaman was saying, once you get through those curtains, it's just bliss. Like I spent a whole week of just learning, but it was just a lot of bliss for me in learning a lot of things, reaffirming, like just a lot of things. And I met a tree, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything, but I really connected with the planet, like super connected with the planet, and I just wanted to be outside, and it was cool. And I know a lot of you are like, motherfucker, he's over there running around, just it's like, hi everybody.
Well, at least your mouth stopped moving. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
That'll never happen. Just with 30 minutes that we were driving, because I was like, I have any food in me. Yeah. So that's good. So I really appreciate that. Sean, you want to say anything, or?
Sure, I can.
Yeah. So now Sean's coming up. He's a to the point man, and he's just gonna tell you his overall experience. So Sean.
Okay. Yeah. I think my intentions of doing this were, came to pass.
Yeah.
One of the main goals I had was to kind of renew myself to who I used to be.
Do you feel in a way renewed, or?
Oh yeah, especially. All the ceremonies were great, but it was especially the one that just made it perfect and just went over everything was last night.
Really?
The last one, man, that was just major.
Yeah, you
for
came
me.
in and you were just like.
Yeah, well, see, my other ones, I had various things that I said that I wanted to kind of work on, etc. My first two they're kind of more visual. The first one I was in actually kind of a trance with this visual stuff happening, and there's lots. It was really bright what I was seeing, and lots of the lights and that greens and blues and things like that. But if I opened my eyes, it would all go away.
Uh-huh.
But if I closed them up, it would just come right back.
Yeah.
That was kind of my first two experiences. The third one was the one that was outdoors, and that to me was more of a connection and just kind of looking at everything, the trees and the clouds, and just kind of being connected. Actually kind of funny. As we were laying there, on the earth, on our sleeping bag, I had my hands over my sleeping bag into the dirt, just kind of feeling the energy pulse through. And then Kamisha, she's right next to me, and she started moving, and I guess her foot kind of kicked the ground. And I swear I could feel it to my hand. It was a shock, so much to where I jumped up and went and said, "What the heck?" Because I felt like a shock to my hand. So that was kind of different, significant. But anyways, fourth one, I was right there like Kamisha, you know. We had eaten too late. I took 4 shots, and I ended up just blowing chunks. And I mean, I felt kind of decent, all right. But yeah, I just went to bed type of thing.
Talk us about the 5th one. So it seems like the 5th one really just...
Yeah, see, the 5th one, I had a total of 3. I had 2 to start with, and then I went and ended up going back and got another one. But man, that one, I don't know. I guess it's just maybe, you know, having that many days or that many ceremonies, there's just enough of it in you, so it doesn't take as much.
Oh, good.
But
tell me about it.
yeah, I just went deep. It started off, you know, kind of feeling the hum in the body and all that, you know, and then I started getting visuals, you know, and it was eventually turned into kind of like the first 2, you know, I was kind of tranced and, you know, going through rooms and stuff. And then at one point, I actually was swallowed by a big reptilian head.
Really?
At first, I thought it was an alligator, but it was more rounded shape. So
maybe a snake.
After I thought about it, I think a snake. You know.
Okay.
So it kind of swallowed. I was like in his jaws, you know. And then at that point, I kind of, it was in a kitchen. It seemed like, you know, it kind of switched to a kitchen, and people was like almost preparing food within me.
Yeah.
But then it was almost like an operation too.
Yeah.
You know, kind of weird.
Yeah.
And from that point, it kind of eventually got into kind of a deeper feeling with visuals, and I could hear everything around me, and there's, you know, everything was echoing, you know. You could hear like little drop noises, you know.
Yeah.
And I was just laying there, just taking it in. My whole body is just humming, you know, with energy. Eventually, you know, a lot of people left. You know, Kamisha, she was done with hers, and she left, and I
just hanging out.
Yeah, I was there for quite a while until the trance feeling subsided, you know. And then I was able to eventually get up. I was still really feeling it, you know, and I went down and kind of joined you guys in the kitchen for a little bit, but I just wasn't.
Yeah, I saw you come in, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was feeling it big time.
He was like misty-eyed, you know.
Yeah.
He was.
You came in with a certain glow, and I was like, yeah, he's still a little.
Yeah, so I ended up just going to the room.
Okay.
And what was strange is when I got in the bed, was laying down, that feeling just completely intensified. I mean, you know, like 10 times. It was like I was feeling all just the surrounding energy, just kind of like I was a lightning rod or something.
What was your intention at the beginning of the ceremony, Mr. Reed?
Well, as I drank my cups, you know, I said just 2 words, you know, renew and re-energize myself. And yeah, I got re-energized big time.
You know, I was kind of surprised you ran up with us all the way up on that mountain, man.
Yeah, well, that was awesome.
That was really cool.
Hell yeah, that was
Seeing
fun.
up
That
on
was cool.
all the way
It
high
felt
up.
good.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause it's been a while since I've done a lot of physical activity.
That's good,
Just doing
man.
that felt really great.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so that, I mean, I was feeling all this energy just flowing. I had to ground myself. I put my feet on the ground to kind of help, you know, dissipate some of that energy. You know, but I could hear everyone's conversations that was going on outside of the room, and I could feel their emotions. I was hearing everyone just talking about, and I was mainly focusing on Kamisha.
Yeah.
You know, I could hear everybody, but I was mainly focused on you know, what she was talking about.
It's alright, bro.
You know,
fucking hate you.
But yeah, that ended up, you know, everyone eventually came in one at a time and got into bed. But man, I was just still humming. I couldn't stop it, you know. And it was up until about 2 o'clock in the morning that it finally subsided and it went away. But before that, I was thinking, damn, man, am I going to need to go get one of the shamans and have them, you know, help me get out of this? I wasn't sure if it was going to end.
Yeah, that's what I was telling people, that I was just like, please just go away. Like, last night a little bit, on Tuesday night too. Like I don't even know who I was telling. I was like, can we just please? and then it just went away. You know, and I was just like, yeah. So
yeah, I did vocalize that too, but it didn't go away. So yeah.
So the last question for you would be like, in your own personal words or your opinion, what would you say to people that are apprehensive of coming here and, you know, drinking ayahuasca with a shaman? What, like, if someone told you, someone up in the street, like, oh, I would never do that, what advice would you say you would provide them? Or, I don't know.
Man, it's something that's definitely going to get you to really look at yourself and evaluate your life, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a renewal for me.
Good.
And to reevaluate who I am, who I know I have been, and, you know, it's just that kind of outlet to really
Know yourself.
know yourself.
Like, if you want to know yourself, come and drink.
Yeah,
You
know
know?
yourself, love yourself,
Yeah.
and I don't know, love everybody around you.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, you have this kind of bond with everybody.
Yeah,
It's cool.
You know, I think a lot of people say that, but until you really feel that and really know that, it's
Yeah.
kind of like it gives you like the, look, this is what it means to love everybody around you and appreciate. It kind of like ding, and you feel
Yeah.
that, and you're like, you know,
Yeah, because sometimes you forget that.
Yeah.
You know, you're drawn into today's society where everyone just does their own thing. People don't give a shit about anybody else. You know, you're driving on the road, people could care less about anybody, you know? You
Yeah,
get
yeah,
caught up in that, you forget.
and you gotta love the community. I mean, we just generate this community. We all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of helps each other, a little therapy.
Yeah, that
you
was
know?
amazing. And how often you just cheered and reveled for someone else's breakthrough. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, because it became very obvious when they were stuck or holding, holding on to something, and you could just see how badly they wanted to move through it.
Keisha,
Yeah,
she cried out. I was far away, and I heard that piercing in my head. I
yeah.
was just like,
Yeah, and it's just a celebration when you see others let go and their whole constitution change, their whole light change. You know, some people came into this kind of with sort of a dullness or a pallor or a lot of dis-ease you could sense. You know, a lot of emotional pain or sorrow, and then to see their face animated with joy, or to see them willing to make a connection through the eyes. I mean, because you know, I had a few experiences where I could look right at them and they would not see me, you know. But now there's more presence and there's more consciousness and more awareness. So it was beautiful. While I don't feel like I had hard trips, you know, I had mildly annoying or like, what is that, you know, noisy. I didn't have hard emotional work, fortunately, and I didn't experience discomfort really from the drink. It was really incredible for me to see how much healing it brought to so many people in our group. True foundational, physical, emotional, spiritual healing.
Good. Yeah, so there you have it, everybody. I mean, I know you guys heard me constantly talk about it, but, you know, at least now we got a before and after, and I really thank you guys for, you know, giving me the pleasure of letting me, you know, just document a little bit of it. And it was awesome seeing you guys come in for the first time and then coming out and be like, shit. Just no words to describe it. I would love to set up a camera, you know, right when you come out of the ceremony room so they could take a picture of you and just, you're just like
those roller coaster rides,
yeah,
you know, where they're like,
it's a mixture of like confused, you just got answers and more questions, but you just feel relieved in a way. And you feel like everything's going to be all right. Just like that Bob Marley song. Everything's going to be all right. So there you hear it, everybody. You know.
well,
You want?
thanks, Aiden, it was a pleasure getting to know you.
You know.
You're
Thank you. Appreciate it.
strong character,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
soul, and a decent interpreter.
Yeah, decent. Yeah, not too bad. I was really. I was just like, wow, when he let me give the shot, like to the
What
first
an
one.
honor. I was so happy.
Yeah, I
for
was just
you.
like, all right. I put it outside, and you know, I didn't really give a prayer, but I just talked to it, telling it, you know what, thanks for everything you've given me. Like I was telling Ray, you know, I feel like, you know, I aged, and like now I could, I've progressed so much and I've learned so much that I feel like I've aged, but like I'm still this age that I am now, you know, like I'm 20 years wiser now because of it. And it's like, you know, who wouldn't want that, you know? Yeah. So just talk to it and, you know, thank you for everything, and here you go. And that was it.
That was cool. I'm
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
for you.
So, with that, so you guys can, hopefully this will be up eventually, and just want to give everybody that account. And, you know, those of you looking for change or just to be a better human being, get your asses down here. Get the fuck down here. And with that, you know, sending much love to everybody. Have a great day, evening, night, whenever the hell you're hearing this, and we'll see you later. Bye. Okay. No reason to dilly-dally or anything like that, so we'll go ahead and jump on to the next one, which is the Shaman. Okay, hope you guys enjoy. Let's go! Alright, we're good. So, pretty much just, it's me again. I'm still here at Copper Canyon, Baca. Again, probably not pronouncing it right. But actually today, had the pleasure to meet a shaman today, and I don't think too many people have ever sat down and talked to him. And I have with me also Shaba, and he's one of the facilitators here. Usually, in him being the facilitator, he just takes care of everybody and just pretty much. So, what would you say as you being your job as a facilitator? You would say what are you necessarily here for? What would you say, Shaba?
I will say that to share the experience, because sometimes when you heard about ayahuasca, it's just hard to explain people about it, and the only way so the people can know what it is to live the experience, because words sometimes just they're not good to explain the whole experience of ayahuasca.
Okay.
And that is why just to share information, knowledge, and so they can link with their emotions, feelings, and just to develop their inner selves.
Okay. So now we're gonna just start off. I have jotted down a few questions. You know, feel free if he wants to riff or anything like that, talk about anything important. But I just have a few questions that I want to ask him, just for people that may have apprehensions or don't even know what ayahuasca. So the first question I wrote down here is, what is ayahuasca? So.
Bueno, pues un poco tratando de entender lo que es la medicina de los incas, ¿no? De cómo esta medicina está generando grandes cambios importantes en el mundo, ¿no?
Trying to understand how this medicine from the Incas is making big whole changes in all the world.
Hoy por hoy hablar de ayahuasca ya no es algo desconocido, ¿no? La gente ya sabe de qué se trata. Y bueno, pues eso facilita en gran medida, ¿no? Que uno pueda vivir una experiencia, bueno, teniendo un marco de referencia importante, ¿no?
Nowadays, the word ayahuasca and the whole ayahuasca experience is spread out in the whole world, so it's more easier so people can know what this sacred plant is making for humanity.
So as me, let's say if someone asks Carlos, what can ayahuasca offer me? Like anybody. Like, what can ayahuasca offer? Like, I'm just a guy that works at a 7-Eleven, you know, and you know, I feel fine. But, so what do you tell people when they tell you, well, what can it offer me?
O sea, ¿cómo puede beneficiarme la ayahuasca directamente a mí? En realidad, el cerebro humano funciona en un rango del 3 al 10%. Considerando pues a un genio, ¿no? Tipo Albert Einstein, con un cerebro activo al 10%, ¿no? Entonces, cuando uno ingiere la ayahuasca, la sustancia que contiene esta medicina, que es el dimetiltriptomina, hace de que el cerebro en algún momento de la experiencia llegue a funcionar pues en una proporción mucho más grande de la que normalmente funciona, ¿no? O sea, puede llegar a funcionar en un 20, 30, 40, 50%, y por qué no en un 100%, ¿no? En una experiencia así muy fuerte, ¿no?
So, because sometimes the human brain the normal human brain works at 3% or sometimes 5%. For example, Albert Einstein, he used his brain about 10%. So what the ayahuasca does is that it contains this chemical that is called DMT that makes your brain work at 20 and why not at 30%. So why not? People can take advantage of this plant medicine.
Entonces, este tipo de capacidad inteligente que se activa hace de que la vida de una persona cambie, porque con esa capacidad inteligente resolvemos muchos problemas que por falta de capacidad inteligente no podemos resolver a lo largo de toda nuestra vida, ¿no? Entonces, al desechar, al cerrar ciclos de problemas que cargamos desde que nacimos hasta la fecha, nuestra vida cambia. Ya no estamos atados a esos problemas porque ya no existen. Entonces, esos podríamos decir porque son los beneficios directos, ¿no? Entonces, con una mente liberada de esas distracciones, bueno, pues empezamos a ver las bendiciones que nuestra mente puede crear, inventar, y por ende, pues cambia nuestra vida en todo orden de cosas, ¿no? A nivel material, emocional y espiritual, ¿no?
So, with the ayahuasca, we get this type of intelligent capacity to be aware of our problems, and because of that, our life changes. We can be able to close those cycles, to make our mind change, and that attachment that many of us have disappear. So after that, we see our blessings, we see inner development in ourselves in a material, emotional, and spiritual level.
The other question that I get a lot when people tell me, "Oh, you're gonna go drink ayahuasca," like a lot of people are scared of seeing things, of just imagining things and seeing their demons. And I had a traumatic experience when I was a child. I'm afraid of it, and that's what I noticed, that a lot of people always hold themselves back. Like, I notice that whenever I try to invite people, that's then one of the like, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid. Like, what could you offer them to, like, what kind of advice could you offer them for that?
Mira, en realidad la experiencia de la ayahuasca tiene varias fases, ¿no? Efectivamente, la primera fase comienza con todas unas imágenes psicodélicas increíbles, pero eso es solo el inicio, ¿no? En realidad eso vendrían a ser como cortinas que hay que pasar por ellas para poder entrar en las visiones que queremos trabajar, ¿no? Entonces, claro, está muy padre quedarse un rato ahí contemplando, porque es muy bonito, además que te recrea la mente, es un masaje, ¿no? Te incrementa la imaginación, todo. Pero ese no es el objetivo final. El objetivo es adentrarse. Entonces uno empieza a ir, viaja, y son portales en los cuales uno experimenta pues cosas impresionantes, ¿no? Como que uno viaja a otras galaxias, otras dimensiones, en el que la mente y la conciencia se expanden de una forma sorprendente, ¿no? Por ejemplo, el tiempo, como lo vemos en este plano dimensional, es un tiempo lineal, pues, ¿no? En ese plano no, pues, no existe el tiempo. Infinite.
And time doesn't exist.
Exacto.
I've noticed that.
No existe.
It's not relevant.
Exacto.
That's what I've noticed.
Entonces, en un tiempo, en un espacio atemporal, ¿no? De pronto, lo que en este tiempo puede ser 10 minutos, 20 minutos, una hora, ahí arriba estás resolviendo vidas enteras, ¿no?
Yes.
Ujú,
Yes, yes.
ujú.
Yeah, the ayahuasca experience, I can say it has different phases. For example, one of them, the first one, is the psychedelic experience. You just begin to see these, all these fractals or these images and pictures, really, really amazing, where your mind get creative and it's really, really beautiful. But when you pass through to those visions, you go to another visions, and if you keep traveling through the journey, your mind and consciences expand, and you see the time as we see is linear in this reality, but when you are experiencing ayahuasca, it's infinite. So sometimes in this reality, as time as we know it, you are resolving in ayahuasca experience a whole past life in a really quick time that the ayahuasca experience takes.
The one that I have is, so I know you're moving closer to Mexico, and I know Shava was telling me that you do ceremonies everywhere and wherever it calls you. What is the goal of you conducting these ceremonies? Like, what's your vision? What's your vision for what this medicine can do for the world?
Bueno, pues la visión que tengo respecto a la ayahuasca es que más gente pueda conocer y usar esta medicina para poder despertar conciencia, darse cuenta de que aquí la gente no está, bueno, pues para nacer, crecer, reproducirse y morir, ¿no? Está para cosas mucho más interesantes, en la cual el aporte que la gente que despierta puede dar para el mundo, pues es algo sin límites, ¿no? Porque ahí arriba, en un plano de conciencia distinto, expandido, con una inteligencia también expandida, uno puede darse cuenta, pues, de que existen miles de posibilidades de misiones que uno puede asumir como propia y desarrollarla, ¿no? Yo en lo personal, la misión que he asumido gracias a esta medicina sagrada es ayudar a que la gente se conozca, ¿no? Y que más gente empiece a despertar conciencia y darse cuenta de que la vida es para disfrutarla segundo a segundo, ¿no? Hoy estuvimos en una cascada, en la cascada de Resurgence. Eso no tiene precio, ¿no?
That's what I learned. That's what I learned this past time. Just take in the moment, live the moment, and
Exacto.
it taught me outside here in the forest out here.
No, entonces sentir esa fuerza de la naturaleza y esa fuerza que nos sana, que nos despierta, que nos hace decir, mira, esto es verdad, esto está sucediendo ahora, ¿no? Es algo que no tiene...
You felt that,
explicación.
madam. You felt that.
Oh, I felt that.
So, I will say in my case, I want that more people know the medicine, so they can be awake and to be awake, so they can expand their consciousness, and so they can understand that life is not just a cycle as they have taught us, born and die, but instead is without limits. when you are in this expansion consciousness, up there, you can tell that there's infinite possibilities that you can take and you can do in this reality. So my mission is that people know each other, that people know themselves, and that they be aware that life is to enjoy. Just to enjoy. For example, today we were in the Pasisashi waterfall.
That was badass.
And it was
awesome.
It was speechless to feel that force, that force of nature, and that is there, that is real, true, that there's something real in nature.
Okay. And my other question is, why do you think DMT or ayahuasca is illegal in the United States? Because here in Mexico, they're just like, if you're going to do it, don't harm anybody, that's fine. In Peru,
Yes.
they consider it, it's not illegal. Why do you think, your personal perspective, why do you think DMT or ayahuasca is illegal in the United States?
Mira, yo pienso que es por una desinformación, ¿no? Que la gente no sabe con exactitud qué es. Y porque la ayahuasca en realidad pues no es una sustancia que puede ser consumida, bueno, pues dentro de un contexto común y corriente, ¿no? Sino tiene que ser ingerida en medio de un ritual. De esa parte considero de que se va a tener que organizar las cosas, porque estamos hablando de una realidad que va más allá de la espiritualidad, como la conocemos o como la entendemos. O sea, la espiritualidad como la entendemos pues queda realmente relegada a un segundo plano cuando vemos una espiritualidad que está enfocada a una conexión con dioses, bueno, pues que está muy cerca de nosotros, ¿no? Como por ejemplo Basaseachi, la Barranca del Cobre, tenemos la zona del silencio. Te hablo de dioses muy cercanos, ¿no? Y esos dioses no son dioses imaginarios, son reales. Entonces, cuando una persona hace una experiencia, invoca al espíritu de esas montañas, que son los dioses, que existen a lo largo de todo el mundo, ¿no? Esa parte ritual no puede ser separada de la parte, que te digo, de la parte física, que es el ingerir la sustancia, ¿no? Sino que todo tiene que ser, o sea, todo tiene una dinámica que comienza primero con la invocación de los dioses, luego viene la ofrenda, ¿no? O sea, el tributo. Invito a los dioses a una fiesta, tiene que haber una mesa servida.
That makes sense.
Y esa mesa servida, pues, es con semillas, chocolates, flores, bueno, tabaco y todos unos elementos rituales dentro de una cosmovisión, en este caso andino-amazónica, ¿no? Del Perú. Y luego viene el acto de la comunión, ¿no? O sea, una vez que ofrecí mi corazón en lo que llevé a la ofrenda, luego recibo el corazón de Dios en mi interior, que vendría a ser pues la medicina de la ayahuasca, y ahí es cuando funciona el rito, ¿no? O sea, tomarse ayahuasca, por ejemplo, ¿no? En un disco club, ¿no? Es terrible, ¿eh? O sea, los efectos son totalmente contrarios, porque es una medicina que expande nuestra mente y nuestra conciencia, y estamos viendo toda la, la basura energética que existe en ese lugar, ¿no? Entonces, evidentemente es contraproducente, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que en algún momento, pues, Estados Unidos va a tener que recibir a esta medicina como parte de una tradición que tiene una religión, ¿no? Que vendría a ser que esta ceremonia, que es la que nos permite vivir la religión, entendiéndose que religión viene del griego religare, volver a ligar mi esencia con el todo, que es Dios, ¿no? O sea, y cuando yo conecto mi esencia con el todo entra en mí. Entonces, la inteligencia, la conciencia y la sabiduría y el entendimiento lo tenemos, ¿no? Incorporado. Entonces, yo creo que debe ser por esa una de las razones que en Estados Unidos no es legal, porque, bueno, pues ahí como que de pronto no existe todavía la base religiosa o espiritual que maneje las ceremonias, ¿no? En Perú, claro, es legal, pero no te venden pues la ayahuasca en cualquier tienda, en un kiosco, ¿no? La ayahuasca la tiene el chamán y te la da en medio de una ceremonia, ¿no? Es como la hostia que el sacerdote lo tiene en la iglesia y lo entrega y es la comunión, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que en algún momento en Estados Unidos también se va a legalizar esto, ¿no?
Okay. First of all, well, I think that this information is a huge thing that U.S. has. So, Aya is not, sometimes taken in a recreational context and not as a ritual. Ritual in which, nowadays, spirituality as we know it, where you invoke God's spirits and you need to experience that this spirit, these nature spirits are all around the world. And to connect with this physical reality in this dynamic, in the spirit world, you need to invoke those gods. So, for example, I invite the gods to a party. So it has to be some goodies I'm offering my heart, so the gods can give me their heart too. So let's say in a club, in a discotheque or whatever, if you take ayahuasca in a recreational way, well, it's not gonna work at all. So, for example, I think that in U.S. it's gonna be the time that ayahuasca will be legalized, but the thing is that in this time that we live, they not take it as a religion, understanding religion as all this wisdom, knowledge that is in me. So I think that ayahuasca soon is going to be the time that in the U.S. It's going to be legalized. But yeah, in this context, they don't have the basic principles and the right setting and context to apply these kind of rituals.
Okay. And I just have two more questions. One is another one that I also get that everybody constantly tells me, and you touched upon it in the ceremony. There's some people that are like, well, what if I drink it and I never come back from the realm that I went to, and I just keep on tripping, as they say, whatever. And have you ever heard of anybody that happened to them where they drink ayahuasca and they just never come back from the alternate reality or another realm?
No, en realidad desafortunadamente siempre regresamos, ¿no? Está tan bonito ahí arriba, pero cuando empieza el organismo a absorber la medicina y a metabolizarla, bueno, pues el efecto pasa, ¿no? Obviamente hace un tiempo prolongado que puede durar de 3, 4, 5 hasta 7 horas. Estamos hablando de un trance muy profundo, ¿no? Y realmente pues uno lo que experimenta ahí es que cuando sale ya sin problemas, porque lo resolvió ahí dentro. O sea, no es magia, sino es psicología transpersonal. Uno es el sanador y el paciente al mismo tiempo. Entonces hay una dinámica de la autosanación, que es lo que nos permite salir con una visión distinta de la vida a la que teníamos antes de empezar la ceremonia. Ya cuando salimos ya tenemos una visión diferente. Hay personas que ya han comulgado muchas veces, que ya no tienen que resolver problemas porque ya resolvieron mucho, ya empiezan a resolver los problemas de los demás. Y para ese efecto pues vienen los inventos, ¿no? O sea, de pronto uno empieza a crear, ¿no? Un celular, una tablet, o sea, cosas extraordinarias, que una mente común y corriente sería incapaz de crear una cosa así. Pero una mente magnificada por esta medicina milagrosa, ¿no? que dicho sea de paso, es una sustancia que existe en nuestro organismo, no es ajena al ser humano, ¿no? Es la que hace que nuestra mente se expande, pues uno puede ser un creador de una tecnología sorprendente, ¿no? Que resuelve los problemas de grandes cantidades, de miles y millones de personas, como es el caso de los celulares, por ejemplo, ¿no? Este señor Jobs comulgaba con dimetiltriptomina y evidentemente pues es lo que le dio una visión que hoy se ve reducido, ¿no? Bueno, pues a un aparato que todos usan, ¿no? Los celulares, las tablets, y es una maravilla completa. O sea, uno, si se pone a pensar cómo fue creado, bajo qué circunstancias, pues realmente es sorprendente, ¿no? Uno dice, ¿cómo es posible que exista una maravilla tan increíble? Bueno, pues para comprarlo, no sé, en $300, ¿no? O sea, como es increíble. Tenemos en tiempo real el conocimiento universal, ¿no? Antes, si yo quería saber algo, tenía que ir a una biblioteca, tenía que ir a un curso, a ser un maestro, estar muchos años y capaz no aprendía nada. Hoy pongo lo que quiero saber y me salen cientos de sitios web que en tiempo real me están explicando lo que quiero saber ahora. Imagínate la evolución de la humanidad que está viviendo en este momento. Es increíble, o sea, ya no existen, que te digo, interrogantes que no se puedan contestar ahorita, gracias a un aparato que fue bajado de un trance, bueno, pues de un personaje predestinado para ello, como fue este señor Jobs, ¿no?
Yeah, unfortunately, we always come back from ayahuasca experience. And the reason why is because our body metabolize the chemical substance. So let's see, the effects depending on the journey, the average can take to 3 to 5 hours, and the afterglow, it can take a couple of minutes later, and there you release all your personal problems, and you can resolve another problem for different persons. But the thing is that your cosmovision is totally different. So, for example, at the beginning, when you start, the first time you start drinking ayahuasca, you can start to solve your own problems, your deep problems that you have in this life. But later, you will start to solve another people's problems. For example, the case of technology, you start to download different information that this medicine, that this chemical, that is the DMT, provides. So, for example, millions of people can take advantage of it. Steve Jobs, he took DMT, and as we can see nowadays, he is resolving people's problems and communication, cell phones, tablets, you name it. The internet. You can search nowadays in real time to get any information. Before, you need to go to a library, to a special course, to pay some money, and now with a click you can search, you can learn knowledge and information. And thinking about it, it's amazing. Nowadays you can get any information that you want. So yeah, that is what ayahuasca can do.
Okay. And my last question is my own personal question. I remember I read in your on your little bio, and it says that I don't know if you either believe in it or you the prophecy about the condor and the eagle prophecy. I thought that was really interesting because from what a little bit of reading that I did is the condor is supposed to represent South America, and then the eagle is supposed to represent North America. And that's my own personal question. I just thought that was fascinating. That I was just like, oh, it's just amazing. I was like, oh, that you're talking about that.
Bueno, en realidad esta profecía tiene muchas connotaciones, ¿no? Que se podría interpretar de muchas formas. Obviamente el cóndor como símbolo de una cultura, ¿no? Y el águila como símbolo de otra cultura. Según lo que uno ve, pues formaría un sistema completo que les permitiría el despertar de América, ¿no? Pero no América como un país, sino América como continente, ¿no? Para poder dar a conocer al mundo todo lo que alguna vez fue, ¿no? Recordemos que antes había dos ¿cómo diríamos? Dos culturas, ¿no? Una era la cultura del Tawa Inti Suyo. Tawa es 4, Inti es el sol, y Suyo son las regiones, ¿no? O sea, las 4 regiones sagradas del sol. Eso sería la traducción. Y este Tawa Inti Suyo, según cuenta la historia, la tradición, comenzaba en Centroamérica, en Nicaragua, y se extendía hasta la Patagonia. Lo mismo ocurría aquí en la Gran Anáhuac, ¿no? Que comenzaba en Nicaragua y se extendía hasta Alaska, ¿no? Es más, existen las palabras en náhuatl, que es el Nicancan. O sea, aquí comienza la Gran Anáhuac y termina en Ashcancan, ¿no? Que era Alaska. Hasta aquí y desde aquí hasta aquí.
Okay.
Entonces era pues la cultura del águila y el otro era la cultura del cóndor, que definitivamente pues eran culturas herederas de un conocimiento ancestral, ¿no? Que la ciencia oficial no lo quiere reconocer, pero existen muchas evidencias de que acá hubo cosas increíbles, ¿no? Estas cosas increíbles pues se ven reducidas a mitos, leyendas que nos cuentan historias sorprendentes. Una de ellas es, por ejemplo, los mitos de Atlantis, ¿no? La palabra Atlantis, por ejemplo, es una palabra que viene de 2 voces. Atl, en náhuatl, quiere decir agua, y Antis es lo que hoy se conoce como Andes. O sea, los 4 suyos en el Perú eran el Colla suyo, el Chinchay suyo, el Conti suyo y el Anti suyo, que hacía referencia a las montañas. Entonces, Atlantis vendría a ser las montañas en medio del agua, ¿no? Que es lo que, bueno, pues en una visión de ayahuasca, en un libro que publiqué hace unos años, pues explico un poco lo que vi, ¿no? Y hay un monumento arqueológico en Perú que es una réplica de Atlantis, ¿no? Entonces, la unión del águila y el cóndor hace referencia a esas dos culturas que alguna vez fueron una, cuando estaban en Atlantis. Cuando se vienen a América después de la desaparición de Atlantis, que no es que llegan a poblar por primera vez, porque primero Atlantis fue poblado por grupos humanos de América, del norte y del sur, que van a poblar. Y luego estas culturas regresan, cuando desaparece Atlantis, a la tierra de sus ancestros, procurando juntar estas dos culturas que alguna vez estuvieron juntas e hicieron pues de Atlantis el lugar paradisiaco, ¿no? Y bueno, pues un poco hace referencia a ello, pero también una de las cosas que hoy por hoy estamos tratando de entender es que la medicina de Sudamérica es la ayahuasca, y la medicina de, bueno, pues Norteamérica, desde Nicaragua para arriba, es una medicina que existió en el antiguo México, que se llamaba Quetzalcóatl. O sea, Quetzalcóatl no era un dios, era una medicina. Cuando un personaje histórico comió esa medicina, llegó un momento en que se volvió un hombre de medicina. Entonces la gente decía, él tiene la medicina Quetzalcóatl en su ser, que tocando a la gente sanaba, curaba y todo el rol. Entonces, en realidad hay que juntar esa medicina que es una serpiente de aire y fuego, Quetzalcóatl, con la medicina de la ayahuasca, que es una serpiente de agua y tierra. Una es femenina y el otro es masculino. Entonces, la profecía del águila y el cóndor se entendería como la unión de dos serpientes, que vendría a ser como en la India, ¿no? Ida y Pingala, que hace subir a la serpiente que es Kundalini o Shushumán, ¿no? Aquí estas dos serpientes es la que hacen subir al Apuyo que chasca, ¿no? Que es el dios interno, para que dé lo que tenga que dar, ¿no?
Cool. That was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how to start that.
Okay.
You can edit it, right?
Yeah, I can edit it.
Yeah, so I can just say whatever.
Yeah,
I-
riff.
I
Yeah, whatever
got.
you remember is cool.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, the prophecy, it can have different connotations based on in the different cultures. So I'm gonna say that it refers about the awakening of America, not as a country but as a continent, and to recall what this is the real America. For example, ancient Asian knowledge, the science, it doesn't recognize nowadays that this type of Asian knowledge. For example, the Atlantis myth, that land that means water, and it means the whole world, mountain between the water. So in Peru, there are still some sites that are from this period of time that Atlantis was a city. So let's say in South America we have a medicine that is ayahuasca, but also in Mexico they have the Quetzalcoatl, and these two, yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and just edit it out. or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was
It's
a
just-
lot.
It was very lengthy. It was and a lot of details. And those of you that speak Spanish, or you guys can get somebody to translate for you. No big deal. I mean, last and foremost, gracias por sit down and I'm really glad because there's so many people that just hear me talk, and I'm just like, they're just like, yeah, but hearing you talk, it's a lot better, and it's more precise the way you're talking. And I really, really definitely enjoyed it, and especially here in Copper County with Shaba. I mean, I really recommend this place. You guys come here, get in contact with him, an ayahuasca healing experience online. Just Google it, and it'll pop out. You guys just get ready for. I mean, I'm just seeing that more than likely it's just going to keep on creeping closer and closer to the United States, more than likely. And that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and just turn this off. And last, just so you can sign my book.
Sí, claro, por favor, sí.
And because I also read his book, so thanks, Shaba, man. You did a
Yeah.
fucking awesome job.
Oh man, yeah,
Appreciate it.
that was a lot of
Okay.
translating, but yeah, I hope you can edit it and just save the parts that you like, and yeah, glad to help. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. All right, guys, that was good. 38 minutes, perfect. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you. We'll see you in a bit, and more podcasts to come. Have a good day, motherfuckers. 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 Motherfuckers.